Going over to the culture part of the podcast, you have 11, now 9 NFL teams ditching Pride Month statements with more and more dropping like flies. This is perhaps one of the most fascinating things culturally because, again, for decades, most of them acquiesced to this messaging because, again, from a cultural marketing and sales perspective, they believe that the greatest amount of audience they can get is audience members that agree with the LGBTQ marketing nomenclature and cultural perspectives that it has. Now, this is first brought to us thanks to X Twitter, and they said, quote, again, this is a fluid situation, but moderately intended, and they say, quote, in June 2024, 11 NFL teams, including the Pittsburgh Steelers, Cleveland Browns, Cincinnati Bengals, Bengals, Tennessee Titans, Kansas City Chiefs, Denver Broncos, Dallas Cowboys, Green Bay Packers, New Orleans Saints, Atlanta Falcons, and Detroit Lions chose not to acknowledge Pride Month through social media or public statements. This decision sparked a viral reaction or various reactions from social media, with some users applauding the teams for focusing on sports rather than politics, while others critiqued them as a form of bigotry and called for boycotts of these teams, unquote. Now, again, this is changing pretty quick. They start off with 11, it's already down to 9. So again, this is also first reported as thanks to End Wokeness, and he said, quote, the tide is turning. 11 NFL teams did not issue a Pride Month statement. And I'll never forget, what was it, 3 or 4 years ago, the NFL official logo, they actually did have a whole marketing campaign that said that NFL is gay, which I'm not sure how much that increased their sales. Granted, it's also a sports balls instance where you have men, dressed up, jumping all over each other. Partially kidding, but it's one of those things where they were pretty much all in, and now this is the first time I can remember we actually see some teams moving away from this specific cultural topic. And again, here's an instance where you have the NFL Pride logos, and I think this is from perhaps a couple of years ago. You have the NFL logo. That's the Pride Trans logo. Yes, because it has the extra colors on it. Yes, yes. And then it has all the teams' logos. And then again, like many corporations in America, they changed the logo for the month of June from the standard, whatever their color is, or the logo colors, then they change it to a rainbow. With most this year, it seems like many of them that are making the change, seems like fewer than before, they are using an instance where it also is the trans pride logo or color palette. That's the word I was looking for. Now, it went pretty viral. It's got 2.7 million views and 36,000 likes. And one of the first comments comes from Paul Zazupa saying, quote, it's ridiculous that any team still supports Pride, but at least things are changing for the better, and some teams are wising up in order to help unite the country. The NFL needs to stick to football and stay out of politics, especially when it's divisive as Pride, unquote, getting 114 likes. Going down more and more, you have the Libertarian Thinker, and it's a picture of Mr. Krabs from the SpongeBob thing, and he's with a reporter, and he says, and the reporter's asking, what inspired you to change your logo to the rainbow flag? And Mr. Krabs says, money. They got 89 likes, which, again, I think is one of the reasons why you also have people that are part of the LGBTQ community who don't appreciate or actually critique companies and businesses for doing a whole marketing campaign in June, but they don't see it as authentic because they don't stick with a theme full year with a myriad of initiatives, such as including hiring practices, reach out to that. I'm not sure if it's a demographic or whatever nomenclature it is, but so there's actually controversy on many sides of this cultural issue or phenomenon, whatever you prefer to call it. You also have Clown World saying this is great, getting 979 likes. You have Gunther Eagleman saying kudos to those 11 teams, getting 1.6 thousand likes. Quite a few. Liberty Pill Memes has a kid looking at a rainbow, and the kid asks the mom, I was going to say, well, cover your ears if you have children listening. Again, I try to make this moderately family friendly. And the kid looks at the rainbow. He says, Mom, what's the anal sex flag doing in the sky? Getting 412 likes. Scrolling down more and more. You have the Inquirer saying, in Maine, we are pushing back against this woke drag queens. And as a drag queen the size of, what was that famous actress? Queen Latifah? Yeah, probably. And yeah, dressed in drag with children. Of course, they're dancing. And they have about 12 pounds of makeup on their face. Granted, I'm sure someone in the comments will say I could probably use a little bit of makeup myself, but nevertheless, that did get 35 likes. Scrolling down more and more. Let's see. Liberty NH says true, and it's the capital, and it's Pride colors, and it says, oh my god, the Christians are going to take over the government and impose religion on everyone. That got 981 likes, which, yeah. See here? Gerald Crap Media TM says, it looks like another year of me not watching the woke Chicago Bears. I'm getting 200 likes, which you're not missing much. I grew up in the Midwest. The biggest joke on the planet is the Chicago Bears. Their football skills are almost as inept as my speaking skills. If you tuned into the show before, you know my speaking skills are far from perfect, including things like stuttering, speaking too fast. But thanks to the comments, I have slowly but surely, I would argue, gotten better. And the big joke of Chicago, I say, oh yeah, they'll be good next year. Like the city of Chicago, they'll be good next year. While they have the same football team, they vote the same way, and have the same policies for businesses and culture and all that stuff. But they'll be good next year. That's a joke because no, statistically speaking, they will not. Last time the Bears won the Super Bowl, I think they stored the photos on a floppy disk. Which, if you're a youth tuning in, that is a logo that you actually, or a little icon that you save your document. That is a picture of a floppy disk. How you used to save data. But I partially digress. Liberty Field Meme says the tide is slowly turning. It's a picture of End Wokeness talking about Xbox, how Xbox had changed their logo to Trans Pride last year, but this year they did not. Now, that being said, Microsoft, which again owns Xbox as well as Halo, now Halo, they did change their logo, they did a campaign this year where they had the armor for Master Chief, which basically the suit for, an armored suit, not a proper suit, but nevertheless, they changed the suit to Pride, and they got roasted pretty viscerally on social media this year. So one part of Microsoft did not change. Granted, if you look at the company's main marketing and how they do stuff, I'm sure as a whole they're still in support of this. Let's see here. Scrolling down more. Poponomics says the 11 NFL teams is some boys and they're playing football with Jesus. And 1,000 likes, which I don't want to say is a lost marketing opportunity, but Jesus is standing in front of the cross. Granted, perhaps it would be blasphemous, but it would have been better if you had like two crosses that somewhat mimic the goalpost. But nevertheless, I did get 1,000 likes. We have, let's see here. So instead of Mr. Krabs, it's a different nomenclature, or sorry, different verbiage. He says, Mr. Krabs, what inspired you to change your corporation's logo to a rainbow flag? And Mr. Krabs responds saying, Satan, getting 1,000 likes. Let's see. Let's see if there's any contrarian statements. There's got to be some. I follow as many people as I can left and right just to get some more, get some different perspectives. And echo chambers get boring pretty quick. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing too many contrarian statements. I mean, that being said, there are millions of Americans who are pissed. They are irate that the teams did not put out any official, quote unquote, official statement, change the logo, and put up all the flags. And as I said at the beginning of the segment, 11 teams started with this, 3 have acquiesced. Now, I know public schools don't teach much math these days, but nevertheless, that is 3 less. Because again, it went from 11 to 9. 9, 10, 9, all the way 10, 11. I digress. 2. And mathematics skills of the public school education system has failed even me. But, puns aside, I think probably have 3 to 4 more that acquiesce to it. And I say that because, again, this is starting a boycott. Well, as this is becoming a cultural and political issue, and these teams want to, in theory, they want to maximize their profits. And I think more and more people in the United States just want to watch sports balls without hearing politics. I mean, ESPN shot themselves in the foot years ago. They started bringing out things about talking about how guns are bad, which, again, you throw balls in hoops and people clap sometimes. Not very often if you're Chicago Bulls, but nevertheless, or sorry, the Bears, either or. But so this is where some people just want to tune out. They won't, and again, it's not, maybe some people aren't even against this. They just don't want to have it shoved in their face. So I think we're going to see more, especially this year, businesses are going to be, I believe, more conservative. I mean, fiscally as well as culturally, as well as being as, I should say, they're trying to weigh the risk mitigation. They don't want to take these risks that could cause them to lose more sales when, again, this is one of the most difficult years for most businesses. We have unprecedented economic and political uncertainty. You have high inflation. People are pulling back on a lot of their non-discretionary spending. And no one needs to watch a sports balls game. No one needs to buy an extra jersey or where they sell these things, an extra beer or whatever they sell at sports balls games. It's a purely luxury entertainment experience. You don't need it. So I think, and especially in those instances, you're going to have less and less businesses leaning into these types of pride events. What? Interesting. Apologies. There's a little technical difficulty again. Huh. Interesting. Well, apologize for that. So I think more and more businesses are going to start to pull back from that, and I can't help but suspect, in terms of marketing initiatives and what they support, well, I think more often than not they're going to start to pull back. But let me know in the comments. Do you think the backlash could be so great that all these teams kind of go back to the status quo, which again for decades at the NFL, that was doing these types of pride events, and again that does increase some of their sales among certain demographics. I just debate, is that the way to maximize your sales? Is that going to get them the maximum revenue at the end of the day? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments. As always, I'd be fascinated to hear what you have to say. Thank you everyone for taking the time to tune in. Again, trying to get to 4,000 subscribers by the end of the month. So if you could click that button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, giving me a thumbs up, thumbs down, or comment is a great way to give me some additional feedback, letting me know how I can make the show better and better. Lastly, don't forget to take the time to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe, fight the good fight.